Hi, I'm Renee Smith, a math consultant at SDAG in Hutchinson, Kansas. Today I'm here to share with you a new tool that I've developed to help the teachers of kindergarten and first grade students with help them with counting. Most of us in our classrooms have a number line, and I would still encourage you to have that number line up on the wall. But in our primary grades, the number line can be confusing to me. The reason it can be confusing is actually twofold. It's really not a counting tool, it's really a continuous link or measurement tool. And so when children are introduced to the number line for the first time, especially if they are at the primary age, two different things can happen, and both of them confuse a student. First of all, when they start to count, one thing that might happen is if they're concentrating on pointing at a numeral, they may start to count at the 0. And so they're saying 1, 2, 3, 4, and you'll notice I'm not on the 4 when I stop and say the word 4. And so all of a sudden they start to associate the numeral 3 with the word form of 4. They've actually made 4 counts, but they aren't on the 4. The other thing that can happen is if we encourage them to count the spaces, then they might start with this space and say 1, 2, 3, 4. But now you'll notice that my fingers between the numerals 3 and 4, and they still can be confused as to which one is actually the numeral for 4. So the number line, in effect, is problematic for young children. Now at some point, we do want them to understand how to use that tool, and I would still have it displayed up on my wall because eventually I want kids to start to associate being able to count on the number line and do operations on the number line. But the number path itself lends them to a little bit more discrete counting model. And so here, if I use this tool, every numeral is represented by a rectangular box. And when I point at the 1 and say 1, that's the one I'm actually looking at. So I can make my counts 1, 2, 3, 4, and now I'm actually pointing at 4. So a number path can actually aid in the counting process, and eventually we can tie that to that number line model. Another thing about the number path that we've done intentionally is change the color of the numerals after every 5. So 1 through 5 would be one color, 6 through 10 would be a different color, and then you would alternate back to this white version for 11 through 15. The reason for that is because then students start to be able to group those 5 just like they would on Reckon Recs or on the 10 string with the rows of 5, so that eventually they can stop counting because they know these first 5 are 5. So actually there are 2 different things that are learned by using a number path. First of all, you're learning to count words when you're saying exactly what you're pointing to. But you're also learning about cardinality. Because if I say 1, 2, 3, 4, these 4 actually describe a quantity that is 4 in size. So we learn 2 different things, count words and cardinality from a number path. The other thing that we can do when children are ready for it, which would be sometime in first grade or maybe at the beginning of second grade, is start to equate these two tools to each other. So we purposely, when we made this kit for you, made spaces between the number line to be exactly the same size as a rectangle, so that when they were aligned up on your board, children could say, oh, I've been counting these spaces. Oh, so now I can count these spaces in exactly the same way because they are exactly the same size. So if they were aligned perfectly, which I don't have mine aligned perfectly, then kids can see that they've been counting the spaces all along and that their numerals match with the number that would be right to the right of their fingers on the number line. We've also included in the kit for you student sets of the number path. So where you've normally had a number line on your desk for your students, you can place it with the number path until they're ready to transition to the number line. I hope this helps you, and I hope that you enjoyed reading this book.